We got DJ Bowie Jane in the house. How you doing?
Yeah, in the house. Literally in the house.
What's good, girl? How you been?
Pretty good. Yep, been gigging and yeah.
Is Bowie your real name?
It sure is.
Is it really?
My nickname.
Oh, okay.
But I'm sticking with it.
Sticking with it? How did you come up with, I guess, that name? DJ, is it just Bowie? DJ Bowie?
DJ Bowie Jane.
Okay.
And Bowie, it's so lame. Like people go, oh, well, you...
Why is that lame?
No, people were going, oh, cool name. Was that after David Bowie? And I'm like, I kind of wish, but it wasn't. It was literally, because I used to have really long hair.
Okay.
And I used to wear these glittery bows in my hair, so it was Bowie.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
Oh.
Yeah, and my middle name's Jane, so it was Bowie Jane.
Why don't you wear bows anymore?
Because I'm more rock and roll. I'm rock and roll, baby.
I feel like the bow is super signature. Like, I don't know anyone who wears, like, a fat bow on their head.
Oh, that's JoJo Siwa.
Oh, really?
Yeah, do you know her? She's for the kids.
Okay. So, was there a reason why you changed, like, from, like, a bow to, like punk rock vibes?
Yeah, I think I've always been this style, but I kind of have become more this style since living in America. I don't know why. But yeah, also
Did you always have this haircut?
Well, so I used to... My hair's changed a million times.
Okay.
I used to have a buzz cut. Like, the last 5 years I've had a buzz cut. And then...
And you just grew the top?
Well, in COVID, I was like, I'm going to grow a mohawk. So I was like, how do you do that, though? I'll just, like, sort of just leave a strip in the middle and try and grow it out.
Okay.
And then it just got longer and longer. And I went to my barber, who's awesome, Melrose Melly, on Melrose Avenue.
Come on, there we go.
Yeah. And
shout out.
Yeah, he does awesome fade. And he just started doing something. So now I've got, like, long hair with short sides.
Okay.
It's got a line I'll show you.
Yeah, no, I see the line.
Yeah,
Cool. How did you go from, like, growing it out like that? Because it's very unique.
Yeah.
Can you do a mohawk right now?
It's way too long.
Oh, okay.
And my hair's too thick. Like, I don't know how to make it stand up.
Have you ever had a mohawk?
No, that's the only hairstyle I haven't done. So.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's wild.
Oh, no, bleach. I had a bleach blonde buzz cut.
Okay.
Yeah, for the last 5 years. Then I stopped bleaching it during COVID. Then I grew it out, and now I've got this.
Is it hard to maintain? Just because, like, I used to have I grew my hair out too, but then, like, I was tired of just, like, the fuzz in the back and stuff. So I kind of left the top and then I shaved the sides, but it was down to, like, my shoulders. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But, like, it's like 2 weeks and then it's fuzzy on the sides.
This is the thing. If you've got short hair, maintenance.
Yeah.
You have to maintain it. You can't let it go fluffy. And people go, I don't know, my hair doesn't look very cool. That's because you need it cut every week. Every freaking week.
So you get it done every week?
Well, when I had the buzz cut, I buzzed it myself. Now I've got this design. I try and go once every 3 weeks. And then my friend is training to be a barber.
Okay.
Gina. Shout out to Gina.
Shout out Gina.
She's now maintaining in between. She's practicing on my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, get some free cuts.
Yeah, and she can follow the line of the barber.
Hopefully she doesn't fuck up.
No, she's really good, actually. I was surprised. I was like, dude, you killed it.
Yeah. How was, you just DJ'd Dodger Stadium, right? And
Yep.
this is like the second or third time?
Yeah, yep. This year was the best year. It was for LA Pride, and they had me in a way better spot this year. Last year I was in a cool spot, but this year I was sort of right where everyone walks in.
Yeah.
So they had a riser and they built me a booth.
That's awesome. How's that experience? Just because, like, a lot of events, I mean, obviously Dodgers games and stuff are, like, on the field, and you kind of get to experience that, like, feeling, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, there's a ton of people there. You're on the field. You're obviously not playing baseball, but, like, people are paying attention.
Yeah.
And, like, you're DJing there. Like, what's that experience like?
Yeah, so for those really big gigs, there's more technical issues you've got to worry about. So, like, I've done a few stadium things, and you've got slapback issues with noise. So you're often mixing in your headphones, or you need your monitors really loud.
What does that mean, mixing in your headphones?
So when you're mixing 2 tracks together, or 3 or 4 tracks, you need to be able to hear what you're about to bring in. So you normally listen to it, and then you take one ear off and you're listening to what's coming through the monitors. What's coming through the monitors is front of house. So you can go, cool, it's sounding good, sounding good. But if you can't hear those monitors, you have to leave your headphones on and mix in you have to put your front of house in your ears so you're flicking. But there's a few tricks, but So you can feel a little not connected to the audience for the bigger gigs.
Is that just because like what they're hearing is different from what you're hearing at the time?
Yeah, it can be a bit of that, exactly.
Okay.
But I did House of Blues in Vegas on the weekend, and that stage is really high. It's 6 foot high, and I felt a bit disconnected for that too because they had me on a riser as well.
Sure.
So, whereas on Friday night I did the Velasco, big room, big stage, but I was lower to the ground, so it was better.
Okay. How does okay, can you explain to me? I don't know too much about DJing. I know a decent amount about music just because I like played like instruments growing up and stuff like that, sang a little bit. But okay, so I know there's some like DJs who like go to just like do parties, right? It's just like I'll do a graduation party or a wedding or whatever, and the talent of it, for example, when I see some of those DJs, I just hear like songs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
As in they're not mixing it? Or...
I mean, like, it sounds just like the song. Like, they're just playing a song.
Yeah.
And, like, or it's their own beat or whatever.
So that's probably more pop that they're DJing.
Yeah. I just, like, what is the talent, or what is, describe DJing? Okay,
so for me, the most important thing with DJing is finding remixes that I like of my style. So just because a song's popular, like I can't remember the name of the song, every venue plays it, it's a house track, I can't stand it. Yeah. So I'm not putting it in my list.
Okay.
And you have to be strict with that so that you have a style.
Sure.
And like I like a dirty bass line, I tend to go towards certain remixes. If you're a DJ who's just playing pop songs, which is totally a skill as well because you're picking when you're playing certain songs.
Yeah.
But maybe you're not. Maybe you're doing hard cuts rather than blending.
Okay, so what is hard cuts and what is blending?
Okay, so some DJs are flicking between songs very quick, so they're playing chorus and then into the next one, chorus. Whereas
mixing like songs together, like cutting and then
and it's like putting an effect on and then pulling the other track out straight away. Whereas the style I do is Techhouse Techno, and it's a lot longer. Like you're blending the tracks over a longer period of time. You can't really tell when the track's coming in.
Sure.
You're hearing little hints of it. And then, so there's a real craft with it.
Okay. So do you use records at all?
No.
Okay. So because there's DJs who use records and actually scratch, correct? And
that's another genre. Like, I don't scratch.
Yeah. So, like, I just don't understand, like, what... So there's just a ton of styles of DJing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there really is. Like, say I'm not a hip hop DJ.
If you gave it into like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 main categories, like what would those be?
I'd say the party DJs may be playing more pop and hip hop.
Okay, so what are they doing like in terms of technique that besides the song that's different?
I would say they might do a little bit of a scratch. They'll be doing hard cuts and. There might be a bit of blending, but it's a little bit more in and out.
Okay.
That's my opinion of it.
Yeah.
I'd say the other style is like house, tech house, and techno. House is a little slower.
Okay.
And a bit more, you might have more vocal.
Okay.
Tech house, slightly less vocal. And techno, almost no vocal.
Okay.
I mean, not always, but yeah. Okay. And it's faster.
Okay, so what would you describe, blending. Just because I don't know too much about like DJing, like what would you describe like an Avicii?
So then, there's another category. EDM, right?
Yeah.
EDM blew up in, maybe it was the 2000s?
Okay. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, that was when you can hear the style of music. You can point out what EDM is now. Even though EDM technically means electronic dance music. Yeah. But EDM is also a sort of a genre. Okay. So it's got the big builds and the drop. Everyone sort of knows what's going to happen with the track. Sure. Even if they haven't heard it before. Yeah. So I'd say he was EDM, maybe a bit house-ish, but yeah. Okay.
That's awesome. So, okay. How is your DJing different than or better than, because, for example, I'm a personal trainer, right? Mm-hmm. There are thousands of personal trainers in
exactly.
LA. And I made pretty good money doing it, like a living. Like I supported myself doing it. And a lot of personal trainers don't.
Yeah.
Right. And you've played a lot of big gigs DJing, and obviously people are coming to your shows, all that stuff. but there's so many DJs out there that don't.
Yeah.
Right. So what is the difference and what makes your style like unique?
I would say my energy.
Okay.
I also have a particular style of music I play.
Okay.
But you're right. There's so many DJs, but a lot of DJs just stand there, and I do not just stand there because I used to sing in bands. So
okay.
I've come from a performing background. So when I'm on stage, I cannot help it. I'm trying to physically rev up the audience.
Okay.
So that's looking at them, going out to the front when I can, revving them up, like just being part of the party.
Yeah.
I would say that's the feedback I get is I've got good energy.
Sure.
And
no, I totally see that too because one, you're just a very energetic person. I do want to go to one of your shows next time. You let me let me know if you're
I'm gonna let you know.
I definitely want to go. But yeah, there's a lot of DJs who I've like witnessed and they're just like bobbing their head just behind the thing, not saying anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you might be really talented, but like I'm not feeling this energy, you know? Even though the music might be good.
I saw Roger Sanchez DJ. He's Techhouse. I don't know if you've heard of him or not, but
no.
I was watching him, and he's not verbally revving up the audience, but he is unbelievable. Just watching him, he's right into every move. When he's twisting a knob, he's doing it with conviction, and it sounds ridiculous, but when you're really into it, you're doing things very quick and with conviction. Yeah. And it was just great to watch him. So I think energy is everything.
Yeah, I feel that's anything. I feel like if you're, I don't know, a personal trainer or a DJ or any type of profession, if your energy's high, like you're just better at it.
Yeah.
Not probably from a technical standpoint, but like people just like energy. They really gravitate towards. I like you because you're making me feel better through your energy. Yeah. You know? And
also I try and be a little bit personable. So like if there is a tech malfunction for some reason, which I did have on the weekend, I was on a wobbly riser.
Yeah.
And
what's that? What's a wobbly riser?
A riser's like a little stage.
Okay.
And
I was just like...
The gear fell off because I was jumping.
Yeah.
And I had to, like, in that split second go, cool, I have to reset this up and talk to the audience because, of course, the music went off.
Yeah.
That's never happened to me in my life. And I was
Were you tripping out? Or are you pretty patient in those situations?
Well, I knew what I had to do. I have to get the problem is I have to entertain the audience and fix the problem.
Yeah.
So rather than go, oh, fuck, I was like, hey, I was partying too hard up here. My decks just jumped off literally jumped off. And don't worry, I need you to keep singing. So I made everyone keep singing. They didn't even know where they're up to. The whole audience is still singing. I go, come on, we're still going. And then got it set up and then off we went.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to... Then I become personable in that moment. So. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, sorry about that. I was partying too hard with you.
Heck yeah. How did you get into DJing?
Well, being a singer and then releasing club tracks.
Okay, how long were you a singer for? Or how long were you in a band?
Oh, like I've done band and duo singing my whole life. Okay. But I grew up on house music. Okay. Like I love house music.
In Australia?
Yeah, been a bit of a raver, you know.
Okay, yeah?
Yeah, so... and then I was like, well...
Are you still into raves and stuff right now?
I mean, I'd rather DJ at them. Or maybe watch good DJs rather than, partying. Yeah. I mean, I'll drink, but yeah. Sure. I was singing in duos and bands, and then I released the music in the UK and was touring, and those dance tracks were in the top... Well, I got top 10 in the UK. Yeah. So I was doing all the clubs. And then I was like, wait, it'd be great if I could sing live vocals and DJ. Sure. And so I taught myself to DJ and have gradually brought the two together. And then I ditched the singing.
So you don't sing at all?
I mean, I do on my recordings, but I haven't been doing them for live gigs. It's distracting.
Yeah, so for your tracks and stuff, you'll record like your voice for some stuff. Yeah. And then you'll play the recording for like while you're DJing.
Yeah, and my original plan though was to sing live vocals, which I have done, but I'm sort of going into the techno world, and there really aren't many like I'm not going to stand up there singing in techno.
I feel like that's so unique though. If you could just throw in a few verses here and there, like while like you're DJing, like
I think it's cool to do a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, like not a tiny bit. Like I feel like the audience will be like, oh shit, like I didn't expect that.
Yeah, just a little surprise. Whereas rather than I also feel it's a little self-indulgent to be singing. I don't know why, but now I feel like it's self-indulgent. Like you're expecting everyone to listen to your voice. It's so weird.
I don't think so.
It's just weird in my head.
Yeah, no, I've never seen that. Like a really good DJ just spit a couple verses.
Yeah.
Like that would impress me. Like if I was in the crowd.
So, a girl I know, Yarden, she's a saxophonist and she DJs.
Say that again? She's a saxophonist?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she DJs. So
that's rare.
She is doing basically what I would do with a vocal. She was doing a sax melody or a like
live?
The harmony live.
Oh my.
And she goes off. I'll send you a link.
That's
She's
so
really
cool.
Good. Yeah. We had her on our podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. What do you call it? So what's your process of just making music at home? Like, do you like just turn off your phone, shut the windows, like just grind out, like, I don't know if you get high or do whatever, drink or not, like what's your process to like make your music?
Yeah, I really don't drink when I'm doing it.
Okay.
I will look at my phone at the start and then I have to not look at my phone. If I look at Instagram, it really is distracting. So I have to set maybe 2 hours work on creating the track.
Is this a daily thing?
When I've got time, I try and do like 4 days in a row, get a good chunk. So like I'm working on a remix at the moment and I'm trying to sit down for maybe 6 hours.
Okay.
But I'm breaking it up into 2 hours. So I'll do 2 hours, then I'll go do something.
Okay.
Then come back and listen to what I've done because you need fresh ears. Yeah. Because you start getting like, oh fuck, what am I doing?
Is it just you doing it, or do you have someone to like bounce ideas off? Hey, do you like this? Like, does this go well together, or is it just like you?
Well, my partner, Jason Bond, he is.
That's his actual name, Jason Bond?
Yeah, can you believe it?
That's a cool name.
We've been together for like 13 years or something.
Okay.
He's Aussie. He's a top music producer.
Okay. Is he? Did you guys meet in
Australia?
Australia?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I will bounce ideas off him.
Okay.
And just ask for his opinion, and he'll be like, it sounds a bit muddy there, or you know what you need? You need a punchier bass line.
Okay.
So he'll give me ideas.
Is he still working music right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
He also does live audio for gigs. So.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's sick. Yes, I feel like with anything artistic, one, you just feel protected over it just because you created it. But also, like, you also need to know that other people might not like it.
Yeah.
And I feel like you have to bounce ideas off someone, whoever that may be.
Yeah.
Your partner, a friend, a business partner, a creative, just someone.
Yep. To
see if everyone besides you will like it.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's right. It's so true. Like, also, because you get lost in a track. Like, I sent him a mix the other day, and he goes, it was like the 30th version of this song. I'm up to like version 45 now. Okay. 30th remix of it, and I sent it to him. He said, "I think you've lost your way." He goes, "Go back to the other version." I was like, "All right."
Oh shit! How do you know when a song's done?
Well, technically, it's never really probably going to feel done. I think when it's 80%. Because you're never going to be happy with it completely.
Sure. I feel like a lot of artists, like, always say that. They're just like, they just got to, like, release it.
Yeah.
You know?
Although, like, my single I released, but Jason produced that. I knew when it was done. He's never happy with it, but I was like, dude, it's done. That is perfect. I knew, but he was like, I'm not happy with it.
Dang.
So.
What do you call it? Have you ever had problems releasing your music into the world?
No, because I'm not signed to a label. You mean like people holding it back?
No, that's not what I meant. I meant, so a lot of artists, like I have friends who do music or write books, or like for me, it's like a podcast or just like a Bitters, right? Yeah. That I don't know if I totally like or whatever. Just like a piece of content too, like, or a workout video for me. Just, I guess, putting it online or releasing it into the world, like,
I know
what I'm saying?
You mean, yeah. Like with footage or...
Yeah, like, because obviously if you don't truly feel like it's done, it's going to be hard to release, in my opinion. Yeah. You know?
I feel like I'm pretty good at just going, okay, now it's time to go.
What's that feeling like when you release it? And, like, you have people have the ability to listen to your work.
Yeah. Well, you unfortunately you are waiting for feedback, so you're putting it up online and waiting to see what people's comments are.
Sure.
So.
But what's the initial feeling when you just like release it?
Yeah, great. Thank you very much.
Done with that.
I'm
On to the
done.
next?
Let's have a beverage, baby. Yeah, we're done. Great.
Yeah.
And then like a week later, you're like, fuck, now we have to do another one. Like,
yeah.
I'm working on getting 4 techno tracks together at the moment, writing them from scratch and just producing them up myself.
What do you mean writing them from scratch? Like are you writing music?
Like I'm not doing a remix of someone else's. I'm just doing 4 original tracks, and I'm going to start pitching myself to some booking agents. So I have people who are booking me for things, but I want a big booking agent. So
is that similar to a label?
So the label would be someone who's releasing the music, but the label usually has connections with the booking agents. But the booking agent's the one who's booking you for the gigs. So, yeah. Really, the money is in the gigs. Okay,
so do you have an agent?
No, well, I have various people who are acting as agents. Okay. And they're booking me for things.
Do you want to have like a main agent? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. How does one go about that?
It's very, very difficult. You need original music.
Is it similar to acting?
Yeah. I don't know. For acting, do you need to have had some roles? Or you just need a good reel?
I think both. But I feel like acting, you have to... For a good agent, they just have to like fit the mold of like what you're looking for. Similar, probably.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But and they need to know that you're gonna go into these good venues and be able to perform.
I guess for music though, or DJing, is it performance based too, or is it just music based? Does that make sense?
Yeah, a combination of both.
Okay.
So you need footage of you performing. I just got a reel done this week.
Okay.
Because I needed current footage with my ever-changing hair.
Yeah. It's like, who is this person? She looks different.
She looks like way different. So, yeah, I've got a new video reel going up, and that's me performing my style of music. And then you need photos, you need the website, and I think, in my opinion, you need the 4 banging tracks. Mm-hmm. And maybe a remix of someone else's track that's really good. Who
does all this media for you? Because like the videos, the photos, like do you hire someone to do that?
Yeah, I mean I've been doing everything myself, but photo shoots I get a good photographer.
Even videos?
And video.
Like a video of you recently, performing, you have to have someone.
No, I get a videographer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But only on the weekend I booked. It's the first time in LA I've used a videographer.
Okay.
I've been relying on, can you video me? Blah, blah, blah. It's not the same.
How important do you think having good quality, like videography and photography, is?
100 million% crucial.
Why?
It's, for starters, when the footage looks professional, you look more professional.
Okay.
And the gig looks more professional.
So take away like the gigs, just go back on like the music, right? Mm-hmm. And say someone listens to your music and they fucking love it, but they see decent content, like the video quality is okay, the photos are okay, versus like someone who's not as good of a musician as is person 1, but they have extremely good photos, extremely good
like
videos.
Slick.
Sure. Yeah. Super slick, super crisp. Like, which one's better?
Well, there's 2 parts to it. One part is you look more authentic when it's not professional.
Okay.
And the other part is you look more professional when you have professional.
Yeah.
So I think you need in my opinion, you need a balance of 70% professional and a dribble of some authentic stuff. That's how I would do it. Uh-huh. But everyone's got their own opinion about that, but
yeah, I just don't know, because like I see a lot of any type of content, like if it's a podcast, if it's
see, podcast audio needs to be top notch.
Yeah,
I think, because people will turn off.
Yeah, no, well, I also think for video too, because like I'm upgrading the video status in the next like month or so.
Oh yeah,
just because like I get a lot more listens, but for me, like I love watching podcasts.
Yeah. I
don't know why. I feel like you feel like you're in the room of like this conversation.
Yeah.
So me and you are having like a conversation right now. If I see really crisp video of switching back to forth talking, I feel like I'm part of the conversation.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like there.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a lot more work because you got to bloody edit everything.
I know. Editing's a lot harder than I thought.
You know what? This room's good though, because you've got carpet. So for sound.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Good work, Nate. Good work.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Bowie. What do you call it? So you do a podcast as well. Is it a podcast or is it a radio show?
It's both. It's Babes Behind the Beats. And
with Miss Jess. Shouts
Jess,
out to Jess.
Shout out to Jess Bowen. World's best drummer. Literally world's best drummer.
Yeah. I met Jess and Bowie at F45, and they're killers at working out. And I was like, this makes sense too, because when I saw Jess, I was like, and I saw her drum, like a video of it, or she was on a documentary on Netflix too. And I was like, that's why she's working out so hard, because it's a workout drumming.
Yeah. No, Jess is amazing. She's the drummer for the Somerset, but she also drums for other bands. She was in the documentary Count Me In. And yeah, we created the podcast Babes Behind the Beats, which is also on Adobe Radio as a radio show.
Okay.
We interview females or non-binary in the music industry who are working in all elements, behind the scenes, on stage, all publicists, managers, that kind of stuff. What was the,
reasoning or the inspiration to start that podcast and
So,
in general?
COVID. I mean, we were just sitting at home. We're like, hey, no, I'm not joking. We said, do you think we should start it let's do a radio show, but we'll just drink?
Sure.
We'll just have fun. And we'll just interview people we know in the music industry.
Yeah.
And then we're like, actually, we should interview females in the music industry because, to give people more exposure. That's, really cool.
Do you feel like, what's the biggest thing that you've taken away from that experience? Have you learned a lot?
Yeah, I love it because the questions I want to know of an artist or anyone in their profession, how did they get their break? How did you get manager? How did you get your booking agent? How did you get that first big gig? And you hear, holy shit, everyone's struggled. Everyone is, what do you call it when you're like an absolute go-getter at it? Hardly anyone's had an easy ride.
Yeah. I read, what's it called? Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's Matthew McConaughey's new book. And
I saw someone made it. Yes, okay. I know what you're talking about.
And it's one of my favorite books of 2021. I think he put it out, or 2020, around there. But he basically talks about his road to being a successful actor was not common. He was basically at a bar, some dude offered him a role, and he got the role, and he just moved it, right? And he was like, almost every person I've ever talked to in the industry struggled until they didn't. Right?
Yeah.
It's not a gradual ladder to success. It's literally struggle, keep struggling.
With a tiny little bump, especially acting is very much struggle and then you get it.
Well, even music too, though. Anything.
We start getting bigger gigs, I find, but it's such a long road. And we have a lot of Australians who come over and they're trying to break it in acting.
Yeah.
And we can only come over for 3 months until you get a green card.
Do you have a green card now?
I do.
Congratulations. Let's go.
That was a relief because I was on an entertainer's visa, which is really hard to get. And then now I'm on the green card.
That's awesome.
But they come over for 3 months and they're trying to make contacts and get a role in 3 months. I'm telling you, it's not going to happen.
It's extremely hard.
Yeah,
extremely hard. The percentages are not in your favor.
Yeah, not in your favor. And it's years of networking. Not even intentional networking. It's people you're friends with. Because LA's got such a big population that people want to work with people they know. That's my theory on it.
I believe so. What do you think the importance of networking is in the entertainment industry?
Well, I think it's important to live in the area that you want to be and hang around with the people you want to
work with.
I don't necessarily do that, but I accidentally do that, and that's true. That's through CrossFit. I do CrossFit.
Yeah.
And I find, not intentionally, but you become friends with people at CrossFit, and everyone is pretty successful there in their own jobs. And in LA, everyone's in entertainment. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's weird who you meet out here, just in general.
Yeah.
Especially
even at a bar.
Yeah. Yeah, anyone could be nobody, or anyone could be extremely big.
Yeah. Someone said to me once, when I first arrived here, he said...
What year did you come out to LA?
I've been here for 7 years.
Okay.
But, so whenever that was.
Yeah. No, 15.
Yeah, something like that. But he said to me, for the first 10 years I was trying to hand out my business card. That's what this guy said.
Yeah.
He goes, and then I realized at 10 years, it's not about the business card. It's about your actual friends and stuff. That's how it happens.
Yeah.
And because everyone wants to work with their mates.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I will never forget him saying that.
Do you like being out here? Do you like LA?
I love it.
Why do you like it?
Well, it sounds dumb, but the weather is freaking amazing.
I feel like Australia weather is pretty good too, though. No.
Yeah, but it's up and down. So it's up and down. It depends where you live.
Yeah.
But like I live in Melbourne, and it's more like London weather. So hot, much hotter than London in summer. Yeah. But in winter, it's cold, rainy, and windy. So
okay.
It's just winter here is amazing.
Yeah, I love LA weather just because it's pretty like stable the entire time, and I truly believe that like sunshine and brings happiness to you. I mean, not just through vitamin D and everything like that, but I think it just makes, at least for me personally, like a happier person.
Yeah, I agree. I hear everyone all the time. They live here and they go, "Oh, gee, it's a nice day today."
Yeah,
and I'm like,
"It's a nice day
every day. It's a nice day." Like literally, when it rains, everyone's like, "Ooh, this is so exciting."
I love when it rains here because it's not all the time.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's like you appreciate it.
Yeah.
But also like we need water in the valley and everything like that.
Well, the first year I was here, it was that one random year that it rained a lot.
A lot, yeah.
And literally, my parents came. I had some friends come, and it was raining. I was like, I swear to God, it's not normally like this. So yeah. The other thing I like about LA is everyone's in entertainment. And everyone's doing multiple jobs to get to their success.
Yeah.
And it's not poo-poo. People aren't going, when are you getting a real job? Which has literally been said to me before. You know, I've had to bartend and stuff and do all sorts of jobs in the past. And no one here questions it. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, you go for it.
No, yeah. That's one thing I truly love about that. Everyone's hustling out here.
Yeah, hustling. That was the word I was after. Hustling.
Yeah, because, I don't know, for my hometown, when I tell them I'm like, bartending and personal training, they're like, oh yeah, like,
yeah, they're like, so you're
so when are you gonna be done with that? But the thing is, objectively, if you bartend and personal train in LA, you're making more money than any
a lawyer
than any desk job, like intro desk job out of college or anything like that. But you never think about it. It's just like they kind of poo-poo it, you know. But the thing is, like, I really enjoy both those crafts.
Yeah.
And like, why would someone poo-poo that?
I know. It's funny. It's same in Australia. I had someone I know come over and she literally said, "How long are you going to keep trying for?" That was her words. I was like, you can get, are we allowed to swear?
Yeah, go ahead.
You can get fucked, motherfucker. You have no idea that everyone in LA is doing 20 jobs to survive.
Yeah.
And we don't mind because you meet great people who are all going for the same goal.
Yeah.
Like everyone's motivated.
And you're surrounded by like-minded people. Obviously, there's the few people in every industry that are just super negative, which I just don't like to surround myself with. But like the people who are positive out there, just like, yeah, like you got to keep hustling. You got to keep hustling. You got to do what you got to do to get to the place where you want to be, you know? Yeah. And I was saying to Jason, because his industries, does live audio for huge gigs. Mm-hmm. It's super competitive. Like if you're not available, someone's there to step in and take your spot. Now that's the difference with LA. But you've got Top of the Pops. Everyone's good at what they do. Everyone's good at what they do, for sure. So you're dealing with a really top percentage of people, which is great. Yeah. Do you know who RuPaul is? Yeah. Okay, so my girlfriend just booked his world tour, or You're joking. As a dancer. Like coming up. Yeah. Oh, that's incredible. So I didn't know. That's huge. Yeah, I didn't know how big it was, and it is huge. But she ended up taking a girl's spot because they didn't like the girl. Like, see, you have to be a good hang. We discussed that on our podcast. yeah. And but if she didn't get it, they had like 10 girls backed up. Exactly. And 10 more girls after that to just fill one spot. You know, and I'm really happy for her because like that's kind of her miniature big break. Like amazing. She was out here just not struggling, but like you're struggling a bit. Like, I mean a bit, and it's this gig's gonna pay very well for her. And like she's never been like had a huge savings or a savings like a cushion, a pretty good cushion. Yeah. And she's never had that, and like I'm really happy because like That's awesome.
Dude, and you know what makes me happy about that is that you're happy for her success.
Yeah.
Because some people are weird with, especially she'll be on tour.
Yeah.
And that's how I would be. Jason gets, like, for some things, I'm like, dude, you've got to take that gig. That's massive.
100%.
We had commitments. Don't worry about it. You take it.
Yeah, so I'm going to a trip in Poland for a wedding and going to Europe. We had a trip planned, and she was crying, like all mad that she couldn't go. I was like, yo, this is a life-changing gig.
Exactly.
Like, I could travel myself.
See?
I really don't care, you know?
That's legit.
Thank you.
No, because that's how I am. I'm like, dude, take the gig. And like we had a trip to Australia planned, and he couldn't come because he got a gig working for Spotify. And I was like, dude, that's massive.
That's awesome.
No, don't come to Australia.
Yeah, the biggest thing about that too is not just like a relationship, but friendships. If all your friends are happy for you and your success, like those are good friends to have.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of friends who, like, that should have been me, or like you got lucky, or you know, like resentful friends.
Well, they can fuck off.
No, sure, they should, and it's not good. But like that's seen a lot in LA, just because a lot of people want to connect with people because, like, what can you do for me?
Yeah.
You know, and at least for me, being out here long enough, like all my friends are super authentic, and like I feel like I could read the room pretty well.
Yeah.
If someone's like, "Hey, we should work out sometime," I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
You know?
you can pick it straight away. That's good.
And I
get sucked in a bit to people.
So
sometimes.
I used to be super fluffy. Like, of course, let's link, let's do this.
But wait, how long have you been here?
2017. 18, 19, 20, 21, 5 years.
Oh, okay. Long enough to not just say yes to everything.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I used to.
Yeah.
Right? And, like, I realized that, one, built up my schedule to the point where, like, I don't even want to do that. Or it could potentially be helpful. But, like, I built up, like, back you said, like, friends and a network that I don't really need anything else. And if it will come, like, the people who want to be in the circle will be persistent enough and care enough to, like, come in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, for example, I coach at F45 sometimes. That's how we met.
Yeah.
And there's this guy who's in banking, right? And he just really fucked with me. And I'm like, yeah, sure, let's work out sometime. Like, yeah, let's work out sometime. And he keep bringing it up. I'm like, oh, this dude's persistent. All right, let's hang out.
You're like,
so
you said it 10 times, you win.
Yeah. And so we grab a drink, smoked a cigar, and he's one of my best friends out here now.
See?
You know? And I'm like, that's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah.
And
that's good.
It's the people who, like, genuinely care that you could read and be like, okay, like, if you're good, like, I believe I'm a good person.
Yeah.
Just because I've spent a lot of years trying to, because I was a bad person. I feel like I wasn't a good friend, wasn't a good partner, and I worked really hard on those to be a good friend and a good partner.
Well, that's great. The fact that you worked on it means you are a good person.
I believe so. And I feel like when you bring those energies out into the world, they will come back to you.
Yeah.
And just overall, like, life's great because of that, you know?
Yeah.
You know?
That's great.
Yeah. And I feel like it's with anything, though. Oh, I'll hook it up right now. Wait, once more whiskey.
I need more whiskey. Oh. So we are drinking today Bullet Bourbon.
There we go.
This probably won't make the cut, but...
Yeah, it will.
All right, we're drinking Bullet Bourbon.
It makes it more authentic, you know, Bowie?
And he goes to me, what are you going to drink during the podcast once you've drunk that drink, that old fashioned? And I go, well, I've got whiskey. And he goes, yeah, but when you finish it. And I said, well, he said, will you be cool drinking straight whiskey? Hello.
I was like, I don't know if I have time to make another old fashioned.
Dude.
Cheers, girl.
I'm a straight whiskey kind of girl.
There we go.
Look.
What do you call it? So
delicious.
Why did you come to LA? Or why did you move? And that's
no, I know
question.
what you mean.
Why did you move from Australia? Did you not like it? Like,
so it's too small.
Did you not like being called, what's up, mate?
No, all of that's great, but
Bowie
unfortunately...
Bowie texted me, she's like, I'm going to bring over the bevies. I'm like, what the fuck is
you
bevies?
don't say bevies here?
No.
Oh my God, I say
drinks, baby.
But did you know what I meant?
Yeah, I knew exactly what you meant.
The amount of people I say that to and they don't say anything back, that's probably why.
Yeah, maybe.
They're probably like, yeah, bring the bevies. Reminds me of my friend Susie Bevies. Anyway, so Australia, the market's really small. We're only at 20.
Just market in general or music market?
Like the whole population is only 25 million in the size of North America.
Okay. Hold up. Let me do some numbers. So 25 million, that's the whole country?
The whole country, and we're as big as North America nearly.
Okay.
As in not including Canada.
And how many people are in like California?
Isn't it something like 50 million?
Okay, so it's like...
Or more. I think Los Angeles, including the outer bits, is 50 million.
So the whole country of Australia is just as big as like...
It's half as big as LA.
Half as big as LA.
And even like, I think the UK is 60 million is like...
Really?
Yeah. And the UK is small.
That's wild.
So we are in only a couple... Like Melbourne and Sydney are the main cities. Brisbane is like one of the main cities too, but it's always been Melbourne and Sydney, and then Perth is way, way far away.
Yeah.
So to do gigs, big gigs, you don't have many opportunities.
Okay.
So you can do local stuff, and then it gets to a point where you have to be an indie artist. So doing like, you have to be grungy, indie, and I'm just not that. I'm like, I'm more rock pop.
How did you get into that rock pop like vibe in Australia when
I couldn't.
None of that music was... I know, but you liked it. Right?
Yeah.
So how did you really get into it when it wasn't around you?
So it's on the radio. That's the thing. Pop music's on the radio, but if you're an Australian artist, they won't book you for gigs unless you're indie.
Okay.
So you have to be, it's just not my personality.
Sure.
So I went to the UK and released there and had success because they love pop, and I was more of the pop angle. Then they loved the house dance remixes. So I went to the UK for a couple of years, touring, all that kind of stuff, and then from there I could get my US visa.
Sure.
Because I'd had all the publicity and the success in the UK meant I could get the O visa in the US.
Yeah.
And then I was like, cool, if I want to be on a TV show, not as an actor but reality, so that I can get exposure as a DJ. I'm not sure if I'm doing that, but that was the original aim. So I moved to LA.
That's funny because one of my friends, he's a dentist. He was going to be on a reality TV show to be exposed as a dentist so people could go to his practice.
Yeah, right? Because you get instant success.
Yeah, it's weird how that happens. That you're, for example, like Shark Tank, right?
Yeah.
Like a small business or like whatever. You get on Shark Tank. Doesn't matter if they like your product. It doesn't matter if they actually sign up to be a partner of your product.
You were on Shark Tank.
You're on Shark Tank, and you promote that you're on Shark Tank, and your business goes fucking to the moon.
Yeah. You literally say, as seen on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
And I believe that. I'm like, oh, yeah. It could have been terrible.
Could have been terrible. But also could be really good because, like, it's hard. Like what you just said, everyone in LA is, like, talented. Or a lot of the percentage. Because, for example... My girlfriend, she is probably one of the best dancers in her hometown. Yeah. But she's just another dancer in LA.
Exactly.
You know, you're probably one of the best DJs in all of Australia.
Well, no, there are some very good DJs in Australia, so I'm definitely not going to take that title.
Sure.
But I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're probably on the top tier. Like there's thousands of, like... DJs who haven't performed at some of these venues that you have.
Yeah, if you make it to LA and you're surviving here, you're obviously good somewhere else.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And it just makes you a better whatever at your craft. Yeah. It just does because you're surrounded just objectively, just location. Yeah. You just see all these good people doing what they're doing. You're like, I got to level up. Yeah. You know? Oh,
totally. And I also see the other side of it is people get a little lost here with why they came, maybe getting caught up in the second jobs too much and not focusing, getting caught up in earning money. Yeah. And then maybe partying too much. So you have to work out that balance.
Why do you think that is? Because like I've definitely experienced that in terms of I'll get caught up in the second job. I'll get caught up in like, why am I waking up at 2 p.m. hungover? Yeah. And I was like, this is not really what you want to do while you're doing it. Yeah. Like, why do you think that is? Because there's a lot of, like, I have musician friends, actor friends, like, just, or anyone in entertainment, like, rinse and repeat kind of that cycle. They're like, I'm fucking up. I got to get back on my grind. But then you fuck up again. Yeah. Well, why do you think that is?
I think it might be the difference between someone who's going to be successful or not. So it is hard to stay focused. And sometimes... you have to spend a couple of years earning money to get to the next point.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, why do you think people fall off of like their main or what their
I think it's the earning money thing, and it's definitely the partying thing as well. You have to,
yeah, the partying thing is what I kind of mean by the falling off. Like
why are they partying?
Yeah,
because you're like, oh, someone's like, oh, that'd be fun to go. Then I don't know.
It just snowballs. You think?
Yeah.
I don't know, because I'm really curious about it, because like for me, I question myself a lot when I'm just like, you know what you have to do.
Exactly. I'm like that too.
You know what you have to do to get to the place where you want to be.
Don't be lazy.
But you aren't doing it.
I know exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I had that conversation. Lately, I've had that a lot with myself. I can see exactly what I need to do, and I'm procrastinating. And that's annoying, but I think everyone does that, but no one puts it on the internet, you know?
Yeah. No, because I kind of had that realization, and I just like spontaneously just quit personal training that gave me a pretty good lifestyle. Like,
yeah.
I charge my clients a lot of money now, or I used to, and I just like cut it off because I don't want to wake up early because it's suffering from what I actually want to do.
Yeah.
Right. And I knew this 2 years ago.
But you've done it now.
I did it for 2 years.
Yeah.
Though, but I knew that 2 years ago.
Well, we did have the stupid COVID thing, so.
Yeah. But
you kind of needed it probably.
Yeah, but even after that, like bartending gigs and all that stuff, whatever, like the world's been open for over a year and a half now.
Yeah, you're right.
Like
it's time to go.
It's been time to go.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it's like people scared, if I was scared, I don't know. It's just because I feel, for me, comfortability I just was comfortable.
Yeah.
It's like
that's from earning too much money. Like, I'm serious. You have to make it, I think you need to make it so you're just making enough money with a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you go, cool, I've got plenty of money, I'm going to go out and party.
Yeah.
Cool, I've got plenty of money, let's go on a holiday.
Sure.
You need to keep it tight and then be really pissed off with your life. You need to be like...
You think so?
Yeah, you're like,
you got to be pissed off at your life to grow.
Yeah, you got to be like, fuck, I need more money, this is fucked.
Yeah.
And then you've got to go... That makes you go hard at what your dream is.
Yeah.
If you're too comfortable with money, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the problem with me when I've worked too many second jobs or whatever.
And then you're like, oh, I feel okay.
Yeah, and then the moment you cut it, you're like, oh, I'm actually going to focus now.
Yeah. But have you read the book Big Magic?
No.
Do you know who Elizabeth Gilbert is?
Oh.
No, should I? She wrote the book Eat, Pray, Love.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And she wrote this book called Big Magic.
Wait, I think I've read Eat, Pray, Love. I have.
Okay. She wrote this book talking about just like creativity and how not to have your creative work, so like DJing, or for me, my bitters company, as your sole source of income, or putting your pressure on your craft to make a living for you.
I agree with that too.
Because it just makes you not like your craft anymore.
And also you take shit. Like for me, it would be taking shitty gigs just to earn money.
Which you probably don't like to do.
No, like I said no to a venue the other day.
Yeah.
It's way too low the money.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was desperate, if I didn't have other ways to earn money, I'd be I would have taken that. But I was like, that's too low, sorry.
Yeah, it's like you set the standard for yourself of like your quality of work and everything like that. It's not good to depend on your creative work as.
No.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about like if you weren't doing what you're doing right now? Like for me, I can never see myself as like a banker or someone who's like at an office job, right? But I think I would be pretty good at it. Like I really do.
Yeah.
But I just like that sounds like hell to me. Like going to an office, waking up every day at 7 a.m., going to the office, driving, cramming numbers, sitting on desks, getting fat, or not getting fat. If you work out like at 5 a.m., cool. Like I just like the spontaneity and the.
You like casual employment. Like you probably like casual employment, like I like casual employment.
Yeah, because it's not forced to stay. You could leave whenever you want. I also feel like it's a trap. Like you realize that, for example, benefits in a 401k, right? Which everyone's like, I get benefits. I get a 401k. I'm like, okay, cool. You could pay for your own insurance if you make enough money. It's not that it's probably like $400 a month, like for good insurance, $500 a month. You can invest in your own Roth IRA, which is it.
True.
And it's, you don't get a match, but it's very similar.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm just like, I put benefits and a 401k on a pedestal for so long. And then I was like, you could do this yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
You know, and I just feel like they word it in a way that just makes you wants it.
Yeah.
But then you realize it's a fucking trap.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but I used to be a lawyer. Did you know that?
No.
I used to be doing money laundering and tax fraud litigation. Defense, not prosecuting.
Where?
In Australia.
How was that?
So it was, I never intended to go into this area. What happened was I thought.
I mean, you went to law school for it probably, so you definitely
Yeah,
intended
but
to
I was
do it.
never, like even law school, I was like, I'm not going to finish this. I was doing like part-time dance, singing, da da da.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to get a job at an entertainment law firm.
Okay.
So that I can get record label contacts. Mind you, in Australia. If I'd done that in America, that would have worked. But yeah. Then my boss got investigated by the Australian Crime Commission for money laundering and tax fraud. So I was representing him in all that stuff. So I did like huge cases, like
what?
Bernie Madoff litigation.
So what? Okay.
Like,
hold on.
really
Let me process this real quick.
I was like, well, it's funny you mentioned a day job.
Well, Bowie, before the podcast, too, also told me she was a professional tennis player.
Yeah,
I was just like, what the fuck is going on?
I do things on 11 when I do that. But yeah, so anyway, I was doing the law and doing the music. And so eventually I became a barrister, which is in Australia, you're self-employed.
Okay, so you never had a plan of continuing to be a lawyer for the long term.
Never.
So in your head, you knew that this was temporary. This is like, it's gonna kind of get me into the industry.
Yeah, it's a means to the end. It's funding me to be able to go to the UK and tour, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But I would block my calendar. So when you're a solicitor, it's like your litigation people here, they're employees of a firm, and you're you're 7 a.m. to
whatever
midnight.
time is done.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're doing that, but then when you're a barrister, you're self-employed, and you don't have barristers here. But I
don't know what that is.
So you're the person who stands up in court and does the speaking, cross-examining. Yeah.
That's badass.
Yeah, so you're doing all of that. As soon as I started doing that, I got way more confident in everything. It was so weird.
Well, I feel like you have I think we're similar. We have a very what's the word? Masculine personality is not the word I'm looking for, but it's basically like you stand up for what you believe in and you don't take bullshit.
Oh yeah, 100%. That could be an Aussie thing too.
Could be, yeah. But the thing is, like, I don't know where I got that from because I used to be like super quiet, insecure, and wouldn't speak up for myself for the longest time.
What changed it for you?
A lot of reading. Like read a lot of self-help books, and then I also realized that probably like jiu-jitsu too, like being and working out.
See? Isn't it funny how something like that, totally unrelated, can give you the confidence?
Yeah. I don't know if it's necessarily confidence too, but it's just the courage, probably the courage to speak up for what you believe in and the person who you are.
Yeah.
Because of, like, just knowing you from the less than a year we've been friends, like, if I say something or someone else says something that doesn't align with your values or something, you're going to speak up for it. Yeah. Right? Not in a bad way, just like, I disagree and this is the reason. Mm-hmm. Or like for me, like if in a workplace, especially at Lavo where I work at, the management wasn't going well. Yeah. Everything wasn't organized. And I pulled the West Coast, the person who runs all of West Coast Tao aside and had a conversation, and like everything's changing.
See?
You know, and you
got to speak up.
Yeah, for what, especially if you know the area of expertise. Yeah. If you because I feel like a superpower is learning how to read, right, and speak articulately. Yeah. Because if you could articulate your thoughts in a way that is, one, not provoking for someone to get mad at you, and two, a way that they can understand what you're thinking. Yeah. It's a superpower. You're right. And a lot of people don't have that. They don't, because one, a lot of people are impatient. Yeah. Which I used to be impatient. you know, and that leads to whole like whatever ego.
Yeah.
Right. I'm always right and you're always wrong. I was like, no, you go into conversation thinking that you're potentially wrong.
Yeah.
You know, you should. You should. Because no one's perfect.
No.
And someone might know something that you don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So how has, I guess, I want to talk about working out
Mm-hmm.
because you believe working out's a huge part of your life. I think it is, right?
Yeah, always. Because I've come from a sporty background. So
yeah, the tennis.
Even when I was a lawyer, I would ride my bike to work, which was quite a distance. And then when I would do CrossFit at lunch. So just from the basic beginning, why is working out important to you, and what does it do for you mentally, physically, overall? Well, if I go 4 days without working out, which happens quite often because I'm busy or whatever.
Or traveling.
Traveling or tired. I'm just a bit ratty.
Ratty meaning like you're...
I feel a bit ratty.
What's ratty mean?
I don't know, like gnarly.
All these Australian terms, I'm like, huh?
Yeah, gnarly. God, do you not even say that?
Huh?
Do you say gnarly?
Not really.
Oh, well. All right, so I guess it's
peasant
more...
over here.
Yeah, I just feel way better when I work out.
Mm-hmm.
I like to feel sore.
Okay. Why do you like to feel sore?
Because I feel like I've achieved something, which is probably wrong, but not sore as an injury, but just like I can feel that I pushed myself enough in that workout. Not so sore that you can't sit on the toilet, but yeah.
That's definitely happened to me before.
Oh, it happens a lot in CrossFit, but if you know where you should be, then that shouldn't be happening, and you're going regularly. So I like the camaraderie of going and working out with people. That's why I like a group class. I don't want to work out on my own.
No.
I'm not motivated enough to do that for some reason.
No.
So I love group workouts. I love the social side. I love Olympic lifting. I love chatting while we lift. Yeah,
Olympic lifting is tough because mobility is a huge thing in Olympic lifting.
Yeah.
Like shoulder tightness, hip tightness, all that stuff. Wrists, especially in like front squats or cleans or snatches.
Yeah.
Like, those are huge.
Overhead squats.
Yeah. And so how did you learn... Did you learn all these movements through CrossFit? Like
so when I was
classes?
Playing tennis, I started doing proper weights training at 10 as injury prevention. But no, we're not
10
talking...
10 years old?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not like heavy. It was more like things to make sure I had a strong wrist.
Yeah.
Things, like so forearms, legs, a lot of flies, that kind of stuff, and things for tennis movements. Most people don't start weightlifting at 10.
Yeah, no.
But I was using a barbell at 10, so.
A lot of people, a lot of sports science would tell you 15, 20, 30 years ago that weightlifting for kids is bad. But nowadays, it's the opposite.
Yeah, and I had a great trainer, and he was like, no, we're not doing super heavy.
Yeah, no.
This is injury prevention. I never got injured playing tennis.
Injury prevention, and on top of that, like any form of weight training builds up bone density.
Yeah.
Right? So obviously you're not lifting to the point where you're going to break your back
no.
at 10 years old, but you're going to learn the proper form to
learn technique.
You learn technique. And then by the time you're 18, 20, 25, 30, like, and your form is fucking on fire.
Yeah.
Like, it's you are way ahead of just like the normal human.
Yep.
And you think about it too, like, we live in the United States and most people are fat, immobile, and out of shape.
Yeah.
Right? And people...
Except in LA.
No.
Because people are in entertainment here.
Not even... I mean, even in LA, like, me and you have very fit, motivated friends, which is awesome. But, like, most of LA, like, the ghetto or any of the other spots, or just, like, if you go to a buffet place in LA, 99.9% of them are overweight and out of shape. Right? We just surround ourselves with fit, motivated people, which is why we're like fit, motivated people, you know? Like,
I could be fitter, by the way, at the moment, but anyway, they'll be like, she's not that fit. But yes, you're right, I agree.
It's the baggy pants. She's hiding
covering
it.
everything.
She's hiding
baggy.
Okay, so back to like entertaining real quick. How does it feel to perform in front of a large audience on stage? Because I can only have a small glimpse of it. So I used to be I was a graduation speaker for my high school.
Ah.
And there was 18,000 people.
Yep, nice.
And I had a speech I spoke from, and that's like the only time that I felt like it's similar to what you feel probably.
Yeah.
But not really, because I'm not really entertaining or like whatever. But like, what's that feeling? I was always curious.
It's a thrill.
Like,
Every time.
Like, how do you describe it?
Like I was saying to Jess recently, like, it's so good to be back performing, and you forget what it's like when, like, during COVID, no gigs. Mm-hmm. You forget what that feeling is like.
Yeah.
Now, even sound check, I love it. We're testing the sound, we're walking around, it's all calm, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Then you hit the stage, so there's that little bit before you go on the stage, so you're starting to get ready, starting to hype yourself up. Mm-hmm. By the way, I need to add warming up into my workout before I go on stage, because I'm hurting my Achilles jumping too much. I'm not joking. And I'm really drained. Like, I think I may need a protein shake before and after. I'm not joking.
You're a true gym bro.
Yeah, I'm like jumping so hard that I feel really sapped from.
Really?
Anyway, yeah.
That's wild.
The next day I get out and I'm like, far out. Like, that was bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm. The feeling on stage is just a thrill. It's high energy. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. What are you most excited for in your life right now?
Gigs coming up.
Yeah.
And releasing original music as well.
That was pretty quick. A lot of people have like time to think about it, because I don't know, a lot of people just are stuck in their like routine, and to have you answer that super quickly, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what my plan is, and it's like what you said. I know what I have to do if I can get on and do it.
What is what you have to do? What do you know you have to do to get to where you want to be?
I've got some meetings in October, and that sounds like a long way away, but it's not for creating songs.
Yeah.
Like, it takes forever. For me, you know, so it's a big, as I said, 45 versions of the remix.
Yeah.
So I want to get my package together by October, and in between, I'm doing gigs and whatever.
Yeah.
So October, what are we in? June, July, August, September. 5 months? That's not long.
Yeah. I mean, also, you could accomplish a lot in 5 months, though.
Like, but I have to be focused.
Yeah. That's the hard part. That's the hard part. Especially, like, if
I've got the radio show as well. I'm doing other things.
Yeah.
You know?
If you have a lot of things, like, it's hard to get good at a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like, if you, like, I feel like you have, it doesn't necessarily need to be one.
Nah.
But it could be, like, a few. And you should just really put all your energy in getting those good.
Yeah, I've got to focus on that one thing.
Yeah.
I know what I have to do. Get my tracks ready.
Yeah.
I've got my reel done now. I've got to get maybe some fresh photos, and also I want to get footage of me doing a live techno set. Actually, my hands on the deck so they can see what I'm doing.
Okay.
And I'm ready to go then. That's right.
Why do you love making music? Because here, before you answer that, that has no appeal to me. I have no romance in, I want to sit down and make beats and mix these tracks.
Yeah.
One, because probably I'm not educated enough to do it. Two, I just like, I like music, but I don't think I'm a student of music, right? So like when people name artists, I'm just like, I don't know, I like the song though.
Yeah.
Right? That's sick. But I think I'm a huge student and fan of like mixology. Like I know how to make bitters. Like I really like cocktails. Like I like just the structure and like the history of it. Like bartenders used to be put on a pedestal back in the 1920s. You know, they're royalty. You know.
See, yeah. Well, that's your passion. Then.
And I'm really passionate about it.
Yeah.
But and I get joy from just sitting down, making a cocktail or an ingredient for it and enjoying that piece of artwork, right?
Yeah.
And so why do you enjoy making music?
Well, the number one thing for me is performing. I like being on stage more than I like the creating process, but I also do enjoy the creating process. But for me, it's number one is being on stage. So how do I get those things? I need to get super comfortable with producing and writing my own music. I've written music for years, but producing is more of a new skill to me.
Okay, so what's the difference between like actually writing, composing music versus producing music?
So in the past, when I was doing pop, I'm writing lyrics. We're writing melodies, and it's not the production part. But I've always had a massive ear for production. So I'm like, can you pop that in there? Can you pop that in there? Unfortunately, you have to go through a really big learning curve when you're producing, and that's learning all the little skills of your program. Yeah. And
technology is insane these days. Yeah.
I mean, I'm lucky I've got Bondi, Jason Bond, at home. I call him Bondi. I've got him at home so I can ask questions. Hey, how do you make that sound to do what I want it to do? And he's like, well, what you do is you put a filter on and then you do this, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, great. And that's kind of thrilling to learn those little skills. But it's not going to feel good to me until I'm an expert. Yeah. And that's annoying.
Yeah, that is annoying. Yeah. I also love that you have like someone help you because
I'm lucky.
I mean, it's super lucky because that's what I spend money on a lot of courses. Like I took a photo course online or like even self-improvement course, like whatever, just because like people spend years developing a skill. Yeah. And they put a course there that can make you learn that skill in a month or two. And
you're right. I believe in courses too.
I really do. And a lot of people talk shit on them just because like, oh, they're selling me a course or like what this and that. They're just trying to take advantage of you. I'm like, well, they're trying to make money, one. Two, if they're providing a good enough service, I will buy it because it's going to make me a better XYZ.
It's crucial.
Yeah. If I could spend $300 and learn how to edit a podcast 10 times faster versus spending, I don't know, 2 years.
See, that's smart to do all that.
Spending 2 years and learning myself how to do it. One, it might not even be as good as this guy. Yeah. And two, it takes me fucking 2 years. Yeah. You know?
Also, I believe in doing in-person courses. So, because you
like what?
Well, if it's available, which it's not always for some things, but things
Give me an example.
Like if you're an actor doing acting classes where you're meeting people, you're meeting the teacher, that's a network you've suddenly got. Yeah. Whereas if you're doing an online course, you're not really networking as such. Yeah. But they're online in person, that's different. But yeah, I believe in you may as well be networking while you're there. Yeah. And it's not, I feel like, I don't even like calling it networking because it's more like you're making friends in the same industry.
Yes. So like networking has in terms of Bowie terms, poo-pooing. A lot of people poo-poo like the word networking. Yeah. Right. And I mean, if you do it properly, it doesn't like feel like you shouldn't have like effort doing it.
No,
like,
you just surround yourself with the right people.
Just making friends who like the same shit you like.
No, that's right. Because, and like Jess and I met.
How did you guys meet?
At CrossFit.
Okay.
And then we would go for drinks. Do you want to go for a drink? Yeah, cool. So drinking and CrossFit. And then we're like, then the podcast starts and that. And that was not intentional. Yeah. Like, I didn't even know she was a musician. Yeah. She did not know I was a musician.
Oh, really?
So we're talking for 6 months. We didn't know what each other did.
You're lying.
We didn't give a shit.
Yeah. That's one thing. So also drinking has a bad connotation because there are alcoholics in the world and there are people who have a problem with alcohol. Cheers to that. But what alcohol does, which I love, especially if you're like...
breaks down the barriers.
Not just that. It breaks down the barriers of like people structuring and like whatever. But the conversations you have with people when you're having drinks, just having drinks gives you an opportunity to talk to someone. Yeah. Like, so what we're doing right now, like we plan to talk to each other. Yeah. Right? And have this conversation. But when you just go, hey man, let's go for a drink or whatever, you have the same type of conversation we're having right now. Yeah. Unplanned. Yep. You know, and that leads to endless amount of possibilities. Yep. Especially out here. That's right. You know.
I know. I feel bad that it does involve drinking a lot of the time, but also it's fun. I mean, but I feel bad if you do have a problem with it. I think there'll be ways to work around it. Yeah. And that would be you would just work out how to do it without it. Yeah. You don't need the drinking, but it is kind of cool.
No, you don't need the drinking. You definitely don't. But I feel like a lot of people who are uber successful drink a little bit or have some sort of vice. And I think there's a little bit of a purpose behind that.
Yeah, it's like, definitely...
There's this Abraham Lincoln quote.
Oh, yeah.
And a man who has no vices has very little virtues.
Right. That's interesting.
You know, and maybe I just like that quote because I got vices.
Yeah, you're like that applies.
I was like, that's my reasoning.
me.
That's my reasoning to drink and smoke.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I agree with that. As I have a drink.
Yeah, there you go. What do you call it? What hobbies do you have? Because I feel like hobbies define
none.
None.
No, literally, I like going
Just
to
working
restaurants.
Out. Yeah.
And I guess working out's kind of a hobby, but I feel like it's part of my life. So I don't think. I mean, I don't have time for a hobby.
I feel like things that are part of your life are a hobby.
Hobby would be something like pickleball to me.
We were just talking about pickleball.
Yeah, like because I used to play tennis. Pickleball is cool because you can whack the pickleball. You can whack the what do they call it? The wiffle ball. The wiffle ball,
yeah.
You can whack that and it never goes out.
Yeah.
And it's great exercise. But yeah, I just would rather be working on my music. Mm-hmm. So I don't really want a hobby. I don't think anyone's got time for a hobby if you've got a career. I don't know. Do you think?
I don't know.
I guess drinking might be.
I don't know. So like, I feel like getting good or not good, getting better at things that you're not good at, regardless if it's a hobby or not, just makes you a better person.
Yeah.
So over COVID, I was unemployed for a while. I don't know if you were or not.
Yeah, I was too, apart from the radio show.
Yeah. And I taught myself like how to juggle. I taught myself a ton of stupid skills.
Yeah.
Which aren't that stupid. Like juggling is a cool trick. It stimulates your brain.
Yeah.
Like all these things. And I read a ton. I just taught myself like stupid songs on like a guitar. Like whatever, which those are my hobbies. But I also think getting good at those tiny little skills or like I was practicing flair
bartending?
No, yeah, similar, but just spinning a napkin.
Oh.
Catching it on top of my hand and flipping it over. So spin, it's like floating down, catch it on top of your hand, flip it over, right? I probably spent like 10 hours on that.
Yeah.
And I got pretty good at it. And I feel like just getting good at something like that is a hobby. Like I'm not trying to be a professional napkin flipper.
No, true.
You know?
True.
And, like
I literally don't have anything like that.
No. Zero.
Because in COVID, I was doing a production course and it was really hard.
Yeah.
And it was very hard and we had timelines, deadlines every week to get stuff done. So I feel like I was doing that and the radio show, no hobby.
Yeah. What do you think? Okay. Do you believe that you're meant to do music?
I believe I'm 100% meant to do music and 100% meant to be on stage.
Okay.
Like as soon as COVID made that very clear. When I came out of COVID and I was on stage, I was like, holy crap. Like I'm meant to be on stage. Yeah. This is the feeling you're meant to get.
Okay.
I need to drop everything now.
I love that. But I've never had that feeling, right? So like, can you like, why do you believe that? Or like I don't know how to ask this question, but I guess why is your belief so strong about that? Because I go through my lifetime, right, doing everything, whatever I do, I'm like, oh, should I be doing this?
Yeah.
Or like, it's fun, I enjoy it.
That's
like,
an interesting question. I've never thought about that.
You know?
I feel like it might be in the DNA a bit, but maybe I don't know how I found that thing that was for me.
Yeah.
So
because I believe from knowing you as you're like a friend for a long time, like you truly believe 100% that you're meant to be on stage. You're meant to do these things, and you down to like your heart, your bones, and everything. You truly believe that.
I truly believe it, and when I see someone on stage, I will nearly cry every time because I know what that feeling's like.
Yeah, like
it's so passionate.
Yeah,
and even tennis wasn't like that. But you know what I liked about tennis? Being on the stage.
Yeah.
I love, my mum would say, oh, thank God they scheduled her on centre court. She'll win today. She's showing off.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's just, might have been born a performer.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how you work that out. That you go, oh, that's my thing.
I've never felt like what you just described right now. Like, and.
Well, you might not have found it then.
Maybe.
I mean, but you act, right?
No.
Oh, you don't act?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
But for example, acting too, I'm like, oh, I probably could be good at that. Or like my friends who are into finance, I'm like, I'm good with numbers. I'm good at saving. I'm good with my money. I probably could be good at that too.
You would be good at anything because you would apply yourself. And I'm the same. I will apply myself properly to everything. But what gives you the thrill?
Yeah, that's the thing. But there's also so many people in the entire world who don't do something that they're meant to do. Like, oh, I'm good at this. I don't necessarily enjoy it. Brings home the bills and all this stuff, you know?
Okay, I thought of something. Actually, when I first started music, did I know that was where I was born to be there? Not necessarily.
Okay.
Like I had a talent. I've got an ear for music.
What was the light switch?
I feel like the light switch, honestly, was after COVID.
Yeah.
I already knew. I was already way down this path.
Yeah.
But in COVID, I went, when I wasn't doing it and then I was doing it, I was like, I text Jess and Jess said the same thing. We were like, dude, being back on stage, can't explain it.
Is she on back on stage too?
She's way back on stage. And it's the same. We're both like, oh, we kind of forgot.
Yeah.
We got lost in COVID.
I mean, it's funny because 2 years is not a long time, but it's a fucking long time.
Yeah.
And it's like you feel like you didn't miss much, but you go back out and you're like, whoa, like I missed this.
Also, I think the other thing is getting good at something where you've done so many gigs. For me, it's so many gigs that I can jump on any stage anywhere in the world and know I'll survive.
Sure.
And have a good feeling from it. Yeah. Even if the sound goes down, I'll work out a way around it. You know, I'll rev up the crowd, whatever. And I think that's when you go, oh, I'm doing the right thing. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard. I don't really know how to explain it. So like for you, you may find where you're meant to be after 5 years of doing that thing. No,
I think so, maybe. But like
you love bitters.
No, I do. I don't know if I necessarily love bitters. I just like I like getting better at things.
You love flavors. You love.
No, I do. No, that is that. But I'm just as passionate about bitters as I am about like creating like this conversation with you, like recording it, and I'm just as passionate about this as fucking around with a guitar that I'm not that good at.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just with working out, like just progressing over a long period of time. I enjoy that.
Yeah.
And it's not that I enjoy any of those less or more than the other.
You just like progress.
I just like progress.
See, I like progress too. I think I like progress the most.
I like progress the most just because that journey of getting better at whatever it is, one, builds your confidence.
Yeah.
Two, just makes you a more talented and qualified person in whatever industry.
Yeah.
You know, that's really it.
And did you see, what's his name? Gary
Vaynerchuk.
Did you follow him on Instagram? You should.
I know, I do. I followed him for a long time. I have like a controversial like stuff about him just because like some stuff I'm like, not, yeah.
I know, but I still go, the bulk of what he says is bang on. Like today he posted, a kid was like, you know, I don't know if you saw it. He's like, I'm so motivated, blah, blah, blah. And his advice to the kid was, don't rush. You will find your thing eventually.
Yeah.
And just keep doing things that you enjoy and you're building on your skill set. You may not get there till 40, 50, 60, 70.
I do agree with that.
You know, and it's true. You may not get there till later in life, but just keep following things you're passionate about and work hard at them. I think you got to work hard.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, any successful person besides like, they just don't, you need work ethic.
Yeah, and you also need to stick to one thing a little bit because, not you, I mean people need to stick to one thing.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you become kind of good at everything, but
not great at one thing.
But how do you know what your thing is?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah. I mean.
But the thing is, I feel like it's a bit weird with music because that thrill you get on stage is like the endorphins after deadlifts. It's almost false. Like that endorphins
after a deadlift is false?
Yeah, like you go, no, it's real, but you go, oh my God, I love everything. I love everyone. I just want to text everyone and tell them how good I feel.
Yeah.
And that's what it feels like after being on stage.
Okay.
So you go, I feel great. I fucking love myself with the crowd and I love everyone, the venue, and just everyone's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's not real life.
No, it's not. Yeah, no. It's that high that you get off of any dopamine rush.
It's drugs, actually.
It does.
I've realized.
And so I'm
addicted to endorphins.
Yeah, I am too.
Holy shit.
What
are we going to do about that?
I went to Reno last week. I gambled straight for 4 days.
And well, you might have to watch that.
And I do. I definitely need to watch that. But
Did you get endorphins from it?
I felt like I was on drugs.
So you've definitely got the thing that we all have, and that's like, you need to focus that energy on sport, because otherwise you'll be like broke.
Oh yes, no, 100%. Yeah, well, I always have like a couple gambling trips a year because I have a couple degenerate friends.
No offense.
No offense.
No offense, John, Joe, and
whatever.
Billy.
Yeah, but it's a good time too. You enjoy it, but also like, I'm like, when I came back, I was like, "What the fuck are you doing, dude?"
Yeah.
Like, let's go. All right, focus on what you need to focus on.
That's all right. Everyone's allowed to have a release.
Yeah.
You know, I say that when I go out, but
yeah,
when I'm hungover, I'm like,
you're
a loser. You are such a loser.
Yeah. It's weird that you talk down to yourself like that sometimes, because like you again, you know what you have to do, but why are you doing the opposite?
And I've started saying no to people. I'm like, no, I can't go out. I've got stuff to do.
Yeah.
I can't be hungover.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, come on. I'm like, no. And then they stop inviting you, and you go, that's how I need it to be. You look, the people who are super successful music producers, they're not out partying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So get on with it, Bowie.
Yeah, not at all. There's this music producer who I met through F45. He goes to Studio City, and he worked on tracks with like Kanye, Future, all this stuff.
Wow.
And very successful. Very, very successful. Will not tell you about it. He never talks about himself, which is awesome, which is just so humble.
Yeah.
But he's in the studio over 80 hours a week.
Wow.
Doesn't have like any friends out here.
Yeah.
Like I met him just because he wants to work out. That's part of his.
So you do need a balance.
I know.
You got to meet people.
Yeah. Somehow he met those people, but he literally just works 80 hours a week in a studio and just locks them up. And
that's what we're up against, guys. People like that.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm just like, oh, I thought I was a hard worker.
No, that's the thing. That's the great thing about LA. You get shown up all the time. You're like, oh my God, they're working harder than me. Fuck. Like, I feel bad. I should be concentrating.
Yeah.
That's good to have that competition.
Yeah, but it just like shows you like, oh, your work ethic is not close to some people's.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I don't know if you know this. I tried to become a professional golfer growing up.
Ah.
So,
golf and tennis are similar.
Similar. And one of my, this guy I used to go to the same golf coach with. Right now he's top 10 in the world. Wow. Very good. But I would show up to the golf course around 6:30 a.m. and he was already there for an hour and a half. Right? I would leave at 6:30 p.m. and he would stay there until 8 p.m.
Wow, see?
And I'll be like,
that's the difference.
And I was like, this is wild. Like, I thought I was one of the hardest workers in the room or in this. Yep. And I was only putting in 70% of what this guy was putting in. And that last 30%, imagine doing that over and over again for week after week.
Yeah, it adds up.
And by the end of the year, this dude has put in 100 more hours than me or whatever. And I was just like, there's levels to this game of whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, well, I got a videographer for my gig the other day, right? Yeah. And she is so conscientious and driven. Mm-hmm. She's like, she turned up early. She stayed to the end. Things beyond, you don't really need to stay to the end as a videographer. Like, you probably get your footage and go. She was like, oh, the crowd's arrived. I'm going out. I didn't have to tell her anything. And I'm like, these people, she's super driven. Yeah. Like, this is amazing. Yeah. Versus someone who goes, oh, I would rather, you know, how late does this gig go? Yeah. And I'm like, dude, there's people out there chomping at the bit for they want your job. Yeah. And that's the difference between someone who's successful and someone who's not. Yeah. The people who put in more hours, I think. Or just like it more. Like, I feel like you have to like it to put in the hours. If you really like videography that much, you're not asking like, hey, when's this gig done? You're like, oh, what? You're like, I could get footage of that. I could get footage of that. Yeah. She sent it to me within 24 hours, the footage, a reel. Edited, and awesome. She'd been to Vegas in between. That's wild. Her name is Yasing. You sing? Shouts out, you sing. What's good? If you need videography or photo work, her stuff's incredible. Yeah. And I'm assuming she's kind of junior with it, but she's freaking excellent. That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. How do you deal with failure? Anyone in the industry, really? Yeah, we'll get some more. Hello. Bowie, how do you deal with I guess rejection or failure? Just because it's bound.
it happens. It happens, especially in the industries that we're in right now.
Well, I would say that if someone tells me they don't like the track and they give me reasons, thanks. Does she drink straight whiskey? Yes, she does. I will listen to what they say, take it on board, think about it, and then go, I don't agree, or I agree.
Okay.
Especially when Jason Bond says it, I give it way more weight than anyone, because I go, well, I know he knows what he's talking about, and he's a perfectionist, so 100% I'll probably just literally change what he does. Sometimes I don't agree, but nearly always. If I get a rejection, if I send my music, which has happened many times, send the music out to labels, send it out to to festivals, no response or a rejection. Yeah. I just go water off a duck's back.
You what?
Do you say that? Water off a duck's back?
No.
Oh my God.
Water off a duck's back.
Yeah, it's like a duck.
Yeah,
duck. Quack, quack.
Yeah.
It's like, you know how water just it balls up and just comes off? It doesn't soak in?
Yeah.
It's like water off a duck's back.
Oh, so just like...
I don't care.
You don't care.
I go rejection.
How do you think you build up to that? Just by a lot of failures or...
Many rejections. You ask any artist, everyone we've interviewed on our show, they've had... They'll send it out 50 times and they'll get one response. Yeah. Or like Carly Rae Jepsen. Carly Rae Jepsen.
Do you know Carly Rae Jepsen?
Hey, I just met you. You know that song? No, I don't know it personally. That song, the label did not want to put on the album. Yeah. And she insisted, and normally that wouldn't work, but they eventually put it on.
That song took off.
Like, the label was wrong.
Yeah.
These are just humans. They don't know if a song's right.
No, for sure.
And I get rejected from gigs because they haven't seen me. Yeah. When they see me, I'm continuously booked for that. So I don't listen. Yeah. You can't listen.
It's hard because, like, one, you want to care what people think about you, right? But the other hand, like...
Not with music. Fuck that.
Kinda. You want to care what you think about your music, like, especially if they're, like, high up. Like, you want to. Yeah, but
I also go... I know so many stories like that where they're wrong, so I don't believe them.
Yeah.
If I believe in it, bad luck.
Yeah, I mean, back to the human thing, like, no one's perfect and no one really knows what works. It's similar to the stock market. You can't predict, like, what song is gonna be a hit to the people of the world. Like,
I mean, the stock market's more predictable than music. Music's all over the shop. Like, oh, why is that a hit? Oh, I mean, great production, of course. But yeah. I know enough about music now to not... Like, if I'm putting out a good product, mind you, if you're a beginner and you're putting out shabby content, then you should listen to what people are saying. Yeah. But when you get to a certain level, you know when something's good. If they just don't like it because it's too ahead or too behind, you have your position. That's it.
On to the next.
Yeah, you go, cool, I'm going to keep pushing it.
What's your advice to... I don't know if the word's young Bowies of the world. I mean, like, so someone who wants to be a DJ, because, like, for example, me, especially in like a hometown, a small hometown or a small town, where music, personal training, whatever in the industry is not popular, and it's not looked down upon. The thing that I really hate about, like, people talking down on things, I was like, you watch movies every day, but you don't want your son to be an actor.
I know. Right?
You listen to music every day, but you don't want your daughter or son to be a musician.
Yeah.
Right?
But they don't want it because it's, like, not a consistent income.
I mean...
But I love that. I love that I have to fight for my money.
Yeah. No, I just find it ironic. Yeah. Right? But back to the question, what's your advice to someone who's growing up in a hometown or small hometown like that making music or being a DJ is like a negative connotation? Where do they start? Like, yeah.
I would say move to a town that is maybe bigger so that you can pursue those things. If you know what your passion is, whether it's work, like being a fitness trainer, a bartender, if you know what your passion is, you need to 100% go for that goal and drop everything else. And yeah, I just wish I'd come to America earlier, but it wasn't an option. Like, you can't get visas until you've had success.
Do you really think like you couldn't do what you're doing right now in Australia?
with my style of music.
Really?
No,
Okay.
it'd be a really slow journey. People do it, but I've jumped the ladders a lot quicker going overseas.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you're big overseas and you go back,
sure,
then those same things. Like, okay, I've got one story. There was, and I'm still bitter about it, right?
Okay.
There's a guy, and it was like this acoustic. I'm not going to say what the show was. TV show, internet TV show, but very big following.
Sure.
And the guy in Australia said no to me performing on it, and I was like I've got original music out and it's doing well.
Yeah.
And he said no because it was too pop. So I then wrote a song about that.
Okay.
But anyway, at him.
Yeah.
And I went to the same show in London, way bigger, to get him back basically, and booked myself on that show. They were like, "Pop, love it." I was on a way bigger version of his show,
Sure,
because I was Australian going over there, and yeah. Anyway, so sometimes you've just got to work around the issues.
Yeah.
And in a small town, it's not going to happen. Australia's a small town,
So fucking move into a place.
You have to move.
Yeah. Really? Okay.
I mean, you did it, and you put that post up the other day, and I was like, dude, that's why you're here. Like, this is the place. Something about they said in my small town, or how long are you going to do this for, or when are you going to grow up?
Oh yeah.
And I was like, yeah. That's why you moved to LA, because you are never told to give up here. Here, you're told you keep going as long as you can. The longer this is what they say here. The longer you're at it, the more likely you're going to succeed.
I mean, that's accurate. I feel like that's with anything, though.
What kind of a town says that?
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, LA's just, I don't think I see myself leaving anytime soon just because of that culture.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not positive, it's optimistic, but there's a lot of like negative people here. But
there are, because people are jaded as well, but it's not perfect.
Yeah, it's not perfect, but
the fact you got that element, don't you think?
There you go. It's good.
Like, what kind of a place do you, everywhere they go, you just keep going for it? Every time they say that.
Every time.
You keep going for gold. All right.
Yeah. It's not looked down upon at all, and it's just crazy the different cultures from like city to city, town to town, country to country, because like, I don't know, you look at TikTok videos, right? I have friends who make thousands of dollars a month off making transition videos in their living room.
Yeah.
Right.
Insane.
Make extremely good money, right? TikTok videos in China are like how to put up a post, like it's like skills.
Yeah.
Skill shit. Over here it's pure entertainment.
Yeah.
Right? It's weird.
It's so true.
That's just how it is. And I don't know. There's just a weird world that has developed through technology in the last 10 years.
Yeah, and people are complaining about TikTok and whatever, and I never go, oh yeah, TikTok's annoying for music. I go, hey, the industry's changed. We've got a way to put ourselves out there. You either get on board or
stay where you're at.
Stay where you're at. The music has changed. We don't need a label now. We can do TikToks. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not ideal, but you can make it work.
You can make it work. And like, there's a niche for it. Like, people pay attention to it. Like, obviously the reason why TikTok's so successful is because they have eyes on it, you know?
Yeah.
And
can I say a story?
Go ahead.
Mandy Lee from Mr. Wives, we interviewed her on our podcast.
Yeah.
She was signed to a major label. They said she originally got her traction. I think they got a lot of traction through Vine back in the day.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
Like 15 years ago.
Yeah. And then, and she's super great performer, super successful, all that kind of stuff. The label then said to her during COVID, you're not doing enough TikToks and you're not getting enough traction on TikTok. So they dropped her. And literally, she did I think she did a song about something about the hard times or something. Wild. It went viral on TikTok after she got dropped by the label. And she's now freaking massive again. How good's that? I love those stories.
I love that story. Yeah. And
she created her own label. So she's like...
Yeah, that's awesome. That's fucking awesome. I had this golf coach growing up. He was a Marine. Yeah. And so he's like, you're 5 minutes early, you're 10 minutes late, like all this stuff. And he had this saying called AIO, adapt, improvise, and overcome. Uh-huh. really stuck with me. I was like,
adapt, improvise, overcome.
So basically,
that's every gig's like that.
Everything changes, right? Yeah. Like every industry changes. Like
yes, every industry changes.
Yeah, sports change too. Like if you look at baseball and golf and basketball do you pay attention to basketball at all?
No, but we have our sports where you used to be like, you'd be able to drink, now you have to be a professional athlete.
Yeah, there you go. But basically, the 3-point shot used to not be popular.
Right.
Right. And Steph Curry and a couple other like players became really good at it. And they're like, oh, this is way more valuable than just like big dudes who could just like run through and like lay up.
Interesting.
And that's just changed over the last like 3-4 years, right? And so now they're looking for a lot more shooters, a lot more.
Oh, interesting.
You look at golf, right? Every single golf club is usually a different length.
Yeah.
Depending on how far you hit it. This guy, one of my friends who I grew up, him and my golf coach, they're very good at physics or whatever, and all their golf clubs are the same length. It's unheard of.
Wow.
And I was like, that changes.
Yeah.
You know?
Things change.
Yeah. Pitching in baseball, like they used to do like the umpire or whatever would do like codes to see the pitch, but the other team could see your code, so they might interpret it like what they know.
Yeah.
So now they have buttons on the bottom to like determine what the pitches are going to be. You know, so that changes everything. So that's just a sports example that could be related to music or whatever. And EDM was not a thing 30 years ago.
No. And then it was super popular, and then it dropped, and now it's probably
popular
finding its space again, you know?
Yeah. And I just feel like in this, wherever you're at, things are going to change. You have to adapt.
You have to adapt.
You have to change and improvise, or else you're going to become irrelevant.
Yeah. I mean, I think the fact that Mandy Lee's label dropped her because of that is freaking terrible.
It turned it out great, though.
But yeah, like it was a blessing, wasn't it? Because then she was like, then that song trended on TikTok.
Yeah.
And she was like, and it was about that.
Yeah.
It's like there was an Australian artist who wrote a song, Am I Not Pretty Enough?
Okay.
Oh, it was an American artist. Anyway, someone. Am I not pretty enough? And it was about the label, like not wanting to release her music because she's not pretty enough, and it was a huge hit.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on, Miss DJ Bowie Jane.
Thank you.
Where can people find you?
Well, if you go to djbowiejane.com, you'll find everything. But otherwise, on Instagram, I'm DJ Bowie Jane, BOWIEJANE.com. Oh, DJ Bowie Jane, not with the .com. I'm mostly on Instagram. I kind of fluff around.
Where can people find your music?
If you go to my Instagram, all the links are there. Okay. In the link tree.
Dope. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Miss DJ Bowie Jane. Peace. We'll see you next time.
Woo!
Bye.